Good evening, tubers. Madam Roy back once again, freshly out of the shower and wearing my Incredible Hulk t-shirt. Our local theaters actually sell these, believe it or not. Every once in a while, when there's a movie in, they'll usually sell a shirt that corresponds to the movie, and I was able to pick this one up. I think this is a 2X, so it's a little big on me, but you know what? I still enjoy wearing it sometimes. It's pretty whimsical. Got 8 people here. Let's see. I-386 has dinner at church tonight, but he want to say hi. Thank you very much. Church is very important. I always support church, so I'm glad that you're going there tonight. Let me see. George Blakely says hi. Stephen Barber says hi. How you doing, Stephen? He says, I'm here. Sorry about being late. I don't think you were late, but that's okay. Had to redo my phone because it crashed. Well, we know that happens quite often. I'm not going to say any more on that topic. Wow, look at my hair. You guys ever see my hair wet? You can actually see in my scalp, believe it or not. That's actually pretty cool. I never noticed that. I don't usually do these things where I have to take a shower, but I just felt so dirty today. Mom and I did a lot of walking, and I actually built up a pretty good sweat. So I didn't want to do this dirty, so I figured, you know what, just get into the shower and get that over with. And interesting fact, I usually do shower at night. The main reason is it actually helps me sleep. I find that the hot water and the soothing what can I say this? The soothing feeling the water has on my body actually helps put me to sleep. And generally in the morning, I usually just don't have time to shower. So it's actually a twofer there. Ruben says you earned a like. Thank you very much. He also said God is good is also important. Yes, he is. Without God, a lot of us probably wouldn't even be here today. Hint, hint. Pridekins14 asks, can you blow the speakers on maximum volume? Well, it depends on a lot of things. It depends on the quality of the speakers and how powerful your amplifier is. But in most cases, if you put your volume to the max, yeah, you probably can blow the speakers pretty easily, too. Stephen Barber said, I was playing with an app and it messed up all my apps. The most important app was my Dexcom. That's the most important to me. Yeah, I can imagine. What you may want to do is this is what I do. If I'm testing a new app and I'm not sure how it's going to work on my Android device, I usually use either an old phone or better yet, I use one of my Android tablets, put it on there first, try it out. If it runs stable and it doesn't cause any weird issues, then and only then will I install it on my main phone. Just a suggestion. George Blakely says, like your shirt, Matt. Thanks, I appreciate it. Seth Brakefield asks, why do you park your van so far out of your property line? Okay, that's a good question. The way our property is, they're very narrow. And we have a big area right in front of the house, and then a little area to the side. There's actually like a little easement there that's maybe 10 feet wide. And the big area in front of our house, there's the mailbox, which is like right next to the driveway. And then in front of that is where my dad's clients park. So I actually don't have any choice but to park my van way out towards my neighbors. And I actually got permission from them. I don't really need permission from them to do that because the street is actually public property. I could park in front of anybody's house. It really wouldn't matter. But being the nice and kind person I am, I did get permission, and they're perfectly fine with us parking there. So that's the only reason the van gets parked there. There really just isn't any other place to park it. Ruben asks, give me an update on the Buick LeSabre. There really isn't too much to talk about, and it's actually a good thing because the LeSabre is running just fine. I want to do a full review of it. That will be coming up as soon as we get some nice weather. The weather here has just been abysmally bad. And not just with rain, but we've had really cold temperatures. I'm talking dipping down into the teens and even close to single digits, which for our area is very cold. But don't fret. When the weather gets better, you guys will be getting the full review on that LeSabre. Andrea Mallory asks, what's your opinion of cooking vegetables in the air fryer? I've never actually tried that. It would be interesting to give it a try. I'd imagine it would work well. Though for us, it would probably be a little bit too crispy. You got to remember, Mom and I don't have the greatest teeth. So we eat our vegetables. We usually have to eat them very well cooked to where they're kind of mushy. But yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't work. Interesting. Eric Brunhammer said, speakers blow due to distortion. You tend to blow them due to underpowering them more than overpowering. I've never really run into that. Generally, when I blow my speakers, it's because I have something like these cheap little tiny bookshelf Radio Shack speakers hooked up to like a 200-watt Kenwood or a 200-watt Onkyo amp. But I guess it would work either way. When speakers blow, a lot of times you'll be getting a lot of distortion, which causes the membrane and the actual cone to vibrate up and down violently. And that's what actually causes them to burn out, believe it or not. 14 watchers and 5 likes. Awesome. Well, at least we're being consistent with these vlogs here. Or I should say vlogs, live streams. I'm running on empty tubers, and mainly that's because of everything that's been going on this week. So you'll have to help me out a little bit. Give me some encouragement during this live stream, if you will. I stopped talking for a few seconds and we immediately lose 2 people. That's interesting. Ruben asks, do you get viruses on your computers? Very seldom. I think the last virus I got wasn't even really a virus. It was a piece of adware, and I got rid of that with Spybot Search and Destroy. I'm very careful with the websites that I visit, so chance of me getting viruses are slim to none. Hired Gun makes a good point. Mismatch of impedance of the amp and speakers is the biggest cause of speakers blowing. Yeah, generally most speakers are either 4 ohm or 8 ohm. So if you hook up an 8 ohm speaker to a 4 ohm amp or 4 ohm speaker to an 8 ohm amp, you run a real big risk of blowing the speakers. Now, theoretically, you can do it, but if you do, you have to keep the volume or the power turned down because, yeah, you're playing with fire at that point. Or 16 ohm. Yeah, they're very rare, though. Usually, I either see 4 or 8 ohm systems. Very rarely do I see 16 ohms, at least in the consumer market. Stephen Barber goes, I've never had a virus using Norton or McAfee or Avast, to be honest with you. Yeah, Avast is still my absolute favorite, personally. Andrea Mallory says, wearing glasses again. Yes, I was going to address that. These were actually my older glasses. An interesting little factoid, if you will. These are the glasses that I wore on my trip to Vegas. And on my way home from California, getting into the Uber, I actually hit them against the rear door frame. It was like it was a little Honda Civic. And I broke them. They actually broke right here where the joint, I don't know if the camera will focus on that, but you see that there's a little screw and a washer there, and that actually broke. So for the longest time, these have been stored until I finally fixed them yesterday. Basically, what I had to do was I had to get a new washer, a new screw. I had to get a little pair of needle nose pliers and a little tiny screwdriver, hold it, and tighten it as much as I could, and it actually seems to be working now. But these things have been stored now for about a year or so. The only reason I'm really wearing them too is because my allergies are acting up, and when my allergies act up, I tend to get blurry vision. So this actually helps. As a matter of fact, I could take them off right now and pretty much see okay. But I actually like the way I look in glasses. I always have. 13 watchers and 6 likes. Awesome. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it always. Who is being rude and messaging me right now? I guess somebody that doesn't know that I'm doing a live stream. I should turn it off, but I have to conduct business sometimes during these live streams. So I need to have my phone with me. Okay, I know what that's about. I'll deal with that later. Let's see. Pradkin says 414 says floor model stereo Sony 5-disc CD changer, 1990s model. I've never seen a floor model of those. I had a 5-disc changer from the early 90s. It was actually sitting up on my main stereo rig over there. The only reason I discontinued it is because it wouldn't allow me to exchange discs on the fly, not like the newer ones. I just had to send that to somebody. Sometimes people can be so dense that they'll just keep messaging you and messaging you, but I'll digress. Paul Kane says, "Hey, hun." It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, I tell you. Okay. Ruben asks, "Hey Matt, have you had any hard drives that have gone bad?" I have been very lucky. I've never had one of my personal hard drives fail. And that may be because I don't keep computers generally all that long, but I've had some with bad sectors, but I've never had anything fail totally. And that's because I'm nice on my computers. You know, I take them out, I blow them out every 6 months. I make sure they don't run too hot. And generally, when hard drives fail prematurely, it's for one of those two reasons. Either you're not cleaning your computer out enough, you're abusing it. In other words, you're knocking it around too much, or you're letting it run too hot, like you're keeping your computer in a confined space that doesn't have good airflow. Because you got to remember, modern computers, as efficient as they are, need to have a good airflow from front and back. So you're keeping them in like an old computer desk, kind of like I have right here, and you didn't take off that rear cardboard panel, then you're in trouble because your computer is literally cooking itself. Got Charlie Lipinski here, says, "Didn't realize you were okay. You were alive." Yeah, he was actually the one messaging me. It's okay. I just wanted to let you know. But yeah, I saw the pictures. Let me look that up real quick. He was telling me about the MacBooks he got. He got an early 2011, which is a 2.3 gigahertz Core i7 with 3 gigs of RAM. And that's got the Radeon HD 6750. That is a great graphics card. And his is actually the dual card. His has the Radeon HD 6750M and the Intel graphics, which I actually really like. And for those of you that are not aware, in certain higher-end laptops, Macs and PCs, they have a dual graphics card option. The reason they do that is when you're doing something minimal like office work or maybe watching a YouTube video, it uses the Intel graphics card. And then when you switch to something like gaming, it'll actually go to the dedicated graphics card, in his case, the Radeon HD 6750M. The reason behind that is it actually saves on the computer. If it was to use the dedicated graphics card all the time, you would notice a lot more heat, and the laptop would degrade over time. Actually, would degrade quicker. So that is a really, really good option. And my HP ProBook actually does that as well, believe it or not. Oh, okay. I got you. Charlie goes, "This is the one I need to disable because it failed because 2011 MacBooks are that bad." Yeah, 2011 they had issues with. You might be able to send that out to somebody. I know there are a few places around here like OWC, Other World Computing, and the Mac Doctor, at least in my area, they'll actually fix them, but they'll charge you for it. It'll cost you a few $100s at least to get it fixed. Don Brody asks, hey, Matt, do you still have your PS3 or an Xbox One? I do not have the Xbox One, but I actually do have the PlayStation 3, which is sitting right there, actually right there, if you see it. And I'm not really a gamer, so what that basically is for me is a media streamer. I use that to watch Netflix sometimes. And the real thing I use it for is my Blu-ray player. Believe it or not, PlayStation 3s are excellent Blu-ray players, actually even better than modern ones, to be honest with you, unless you're looking to get like 4K or something, which I really don't care about. Though I may invest in a 4K Blu-ray player if they become cheap enough, because that is a 4K TV right there. Classic Mobile Homes here and is in the house. Classic Mobile Homes in the house. Yeah, I'm a little tipsy right now. I actually had a Cosmopolitan before I started this, but I'm not drunk. I never get drunk. Charlie Kopinski does have a YouTube channel. Yeah, please check out his YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate that. Paul King goes, oh no! That's all right. We'll press on. 17 watchers, 8 likes. Let me go into the community section here because there was a question I wanted to answer. Simon Lim. This was in response to a video I did about Dunkin' Donuts K-Cups being a ripoff. He goes, that premium coffee is expensive indeed. I can see why it's printed on the box. Using a cell phone for video recording, uploading video sites is not a good idea. Yeah, I think that's because I used to use my old cell phone, which didn't have the greatest video quality. What actually happened with that is the Dunkin' Donuts K-Cups come in the same size package as pretty much every other Keurig-approved K-Cup package. In other words, normally they have 12 K-Cups, but in the Dunkin' Donuts case, they only put 10 in there. And I said it was a ripoff because it is kind of deceiving. And yes, it did say that it only had 10 cups in it, but when you're shopping and you look at something, you don't necessarily read every single piece of writing on that package. And all I was actually saying with that video was, to me, it was very deceitful. What they need to do is, if it only contains 10 cups instead of 12, they need to make the packaging smaller. That way it's easier to distinguish that, yes, this has fewer K-cups than the normal package does. Don Brody says, I've been following your channel since February of 2018, so almost a year now. He goes, love the variety. Well, thank you very much. And that's one thing that I was adamant about when I started this channel. I didn't want to have multiple channels for different things, like one channel for vlogs, one channel for tech videos, one channel for music, one channel for cooking videos. I find that too confusing. I'd rather just have a single channel that people know about and call it a variety channel. Now, there are pros and cons to that. You know, a con can be there are people that don't like certain videos. Like if you notice recently, most of my videos get at least 3 or 4 dislikes. And I know the people that are disliking them, and you know who you are. And the reason they're disliking them is they just don't like the particular video that I put out. But it's impossible for me to please everybody all the time. I do my best to give you guys enough variety out there so you don't get bored. But at the end of the day, I'm only one person. I don't have a staff like a lot of these bigger YouTubers out there, Kid Behind the Camera, McJuggernuggets. Who else am I thinking of? Unbox Therapy. These people actually have a staff. I don't care what they say. They have people that help them not only film the videos, but during the editing process. So since it's just me, it's really hard for me to be as, what's a good word for it, as lucrative, I guess, as their channel is. I don't know if that's the right word or not. Charlotte Pitts said, my dad gets 100 box K cups. Yeah, I've seen them out there. I've gotten the 82 or 84 ones from Big Lots. They're the Victor Allens in the past, but recently, because when I go up to visit my uncle in New York, Green, they have that discount Village Variety, the discount food store. I pretty much buy a lot of their K cups because I am a huge fan of the medium roast McCafe K cups, the same ones you can get at McDonald's. And he gets them in and sells them real cheap. And that's good enough for me. Yes, they tend to be outdated by 6 months to a year, but it really doesn't matter because they are vacuum packed, and they tend to be good 3 or 4 or 5 years past their due dates. Don Brody asks, "Hey Matt, what kind of movies do you like?" Okay, I like sci-fi, comedy. I'm not a big fan of horror movies, though. Right now, Mom and I are watching Stephen King's The Stand. I call it a movie, but technically it's a mini series. Other than that, I kind of like the newer Marvels. I like the Guardians of the Galaxy. I liked the Avengers movies. Just give you an idea of some of the things I do like. Some movies I don't really care for. I never really cared for chick flicks for the most part. Stuff like Message in a Bottle, The Notebook. Though I do like musicals, believe it or not. I actually do have a fascination when it comes to certain musicals. Like I like the old movie Camelot. I like The Music Man. So my taste in movies is a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit everywhere. Classic Mobile Home says, "Same Matt, YouTube does not pay me at all." Well, you have to put out a lot of content. You have to put out good quality content. You also have to be a YouTube partner. If you start making more videos and you start really getting a fan base, then you can become a YouTube partner. You can make some money. For most people, it's never going to be enough to make a living. I can't live on what I get from YouTube each month. It's funny. A lot of people out there have checked Social Blade about my channel, and they say, "Oh, that's a lie." Social Blade says Matt makes $5,000, $10,000 a month. That is nowhere near the truth. I am telling you, don't always believe what those websites tell you. It's 90% less than that, believe me. Pradkins14 says, "You got a curious cat." Did he come in here? Oh, no, he can't because I have the door shut. But yeah, Milo's pretty curious. Baxter can be too. Paul King goes, "Not a fan of chick flicks, but have liked some. The Holiday, Kate and Leopold, and Notting Hill." I don't think I've ever seen any of those. I've seen Last Holiday, the one with Queen Latifah. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but yeah. Eric Brunhammer says, "I really only get paid $100 maybe once every 2 to 3 months from YouTube." It really just depends. Like I said, I hate to say this, but if you use those clickbaity type titles, then you're going to get more money because that's actually how YouTube sets their algorithms. If you watch the big ones, Kid Behind the Camera, McJuggernuggets, they're all doing these kind of clickbaity titles. Like I know Kid Behind the Camera did one saying, "Bridget has left me," or "We've separated," or I'm leaving YouTube. And he does that because he has to. He makes his living doing YouTube videos. I don't. YouTube for me is a hobby. Is it a business? Yes, because I do make money from it. But it's more of a hobby for me. I don't make my entire living doing YouTube videos. That might change. I wish it would change. Honestly, I'd love to make my living doing YouTube videos. That would be my dream, is to become somebody like Kid Behind a Camera, McJuggernuggets, and say, "Hey, I can make my living just doing what I love," but hasn't happened yet for me. Who knows? Never know what the future brings. Eric Brunhammer said there's a chick flick called 100 Girls that I discovered many years ago. It's been referred to as a chick flick written by a man. LOL. Yeah, isn't that an oxymoron right there? Never heard of it myself. Yeah, never heard of The Holiday either. Again, if it's a chick flick, I probably haven't watched it. Again, I actually do enjoy musicals, and the reason I enjoy musicals is when I was very young, my mother sat me down and kind of made me watch Music Man, and I actually fell in love with that. I really appreciate the classic cinematography that they use in that. It's not just the music. The music is great, but the amazing people that made that musical come together, it amazes me to this day they were able to pull off that type of a ensemble that late in the game. You got to remember the great musicals were really from the 30s, 40s, and in the early 50s. Music Man came out in 1962, and Hollywood just wasn't making those big budget musicals like they used to. And I was actually like, wow, they actually pulled it off with this one. And then even later on, 2 years later with Camelot, the one with Richard Harris. Yes, Richard Harris, the first Dumbledore. He played King Arthur in that. If you've never seen that one, that is another great musical as well. Paul Kane says, if you like musicals, check out On the Town. I will. I'll do that. I'll have to remember that. On the Town. There are so many good ones out there. And again, a lot of them are older ones. 1949. Yeah, see that the 30s and 40s and into the very early 50s were the heyday of the musicals for sure. Don Brody, oh, he wants to know all about these things I have. He goes, hey, Matt, do you still have the silver Sony AV receiver? That was the first video I saw. No, I don't actually have that one. That was one that I purchased specifically to resell. And I remember that one. I actually wound up getting about $100 for that. I bought that for $15 at the thrift store, flipped that for $100. Now, that was with a pair of speakers that I added and a dual cassette deck and a 5-disc changer. But all together, I think in that, I had maybe $35 or $40. So I made actually a $60 profit. And that's a good point you brought up. I'm glad that you did that. There's a lot of money to be made still in AV equipment, analog devices, VCRs, cassette players. And I talked a little bit. I talked a little bit about this in one of the vlogs the other day. You just got to know what to look out for. And I need to do a video about that. What I'm going to do gives me an idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get together some dual cassette decks, some AV receivers, and maybe some VCRs, and show you the kind of things that you really need to look out for. Mainly when it comes to VCRs, if you want to resell them, they have to be at least 4-head and hi-fi stereo. Having the original remote and user manual is a plus, but it's not necessary to make a decent profit. When it comes to the owner's manuals for anything, you can find them online, download them as a PDF and print them out. I mean, that's no big deal. The remotes themselves can be a little tricky. If it's an older unit, you might be able to get it on eBay, but even there, they usually want a premium. So I'll try to do a video about that in the future. I'm glad you brought that up. Eric Brunhammer said, I forgot to get a hold of that guy with the Dells, LOL. Yeah, he messaged me the other day, this guy close to him. I think it was on Facebook Marketplace. Had a whole bunch of Dell computers for sale. You got to tell me, you're going to have to let me know if you do get a hold of him. I'm curious to know if he wanted $20 for the lot or $20 a piece. You got to let me know that. Ruben asks, try your old Sony TRV 280 in the next video. I got to get that out of storage. That's actually been put away for a while now. I actually have the DCR TRV 260 sitting right over there. The only reason I don't use them is anymore is they work. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're decent for what they are, but it's just so hard to import the video. It takes a lot of extra time to do that. Paul Kane says, you're giving away all the best secrets. I don't mind, because chances are you guys aren't even in my area. And if you are, that's why I like sharing this information. It's not that big of a deal to me, honestly. Robert Jones asks, how am I doing? I'm doing great today, Robert. Don Brody asks, hey, Matt, how about iPod docks? I see these all the time at the thrift store. Are these still viable? I see them a lot in the thrift stores too, but I never pick them up, because unless you're going to be using them for your personal use, they just don't really have much of a resale value. If you guys are interested in seeing an actual thrift store video, this past vlog I did, the one I just uploaded earlier, I actually filmed inside the thrift store, so you guys can go ahead and look at that. I've had a lot of requests to actually film inside the thrift store, and I actually got enough guts up today to do it. Luckily, nobody stopped me. Classic Mobile says, it's fun to do videos of our life. Yeah, it is. Vlogs are fun. I have no argument there. Paul King goes, I buy and sell audio stuff all the time. You can make a decent living just buying and reselling audio components. So receivers, CD players, cassette decks. Of course, if you can find things like vintage reel-to-reels, you can make even more money. Eric Brunhammer said, I almost picked up a real nice Sony CyberShot camera from the thrift store today, but I don't have any memory sticks. But I did buy a box with 11 mice for $10. That's not a bad deal. I actually wish you messaged me, Eric, because believe it or not, I probably have some memory sticks lying around. At least I used to. Maybe not. I used to have a bunch of them in the drawer, but right now I think I just have some compact flash cards. I'm actually looking for something to use this particular compact flash card. I bought 2 of these a couple of years back at our local thrift store for, I think it was $5. These are SanDisk Ultra 2 4-gigabyte compact flash cards. These are really high-end cards, and they're excellent quality. I might want to use these as something like storage for a vintage computer, though I've never had luck using the compact flash to IDE adapters. I've tried multiple ones in multiple systems, and they never seem to work right for me. Don't know why. I think it may have something to do with the motherboards. Paul Kane says, the big money is in silver face gear from the late 70s to very early 80s. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those, especially the Pioneer ones. Robert Jones asks, Matt, do you know where I can get 5¼ inch drive bay door springs? Ooh, that would be a hard one. Your best bet would probably be to go to something like an auto parts store and try to get a spring that's the right size, because to find the original part for that, this day and age, I think it would be darn near impossible. Don Brody asks, hey, Matt, have thrift store prices went up in your area? That's a good question. It really depends on the thrift store. The CHKDs have gone up recently, especially the one in my area since the new manager took over. But the other ones, like the DAVs, well, the DAV was always expensive to start with, so nothing's changed there. But the Hope House thrift store, the JOCC in Virginia Beach, the Goodwills, not really. They've pretty much stayed the same, honestly. That's funny. Jeff, Jeff, that's his YouTube channel. In response to my last night's live stream, when I was talking about more about fitness and everything in moderation, he goes, one word, moderation. And that's the best thing I can tell. If you guys are trying to lose weight everything I've told you before definitely stands true. But the one thing you can try right off the bat now is moderation. You want that Twinkie, moderation. Have it once or twice a week instead of having it every day. You want that can of soda, moderation. Have it once a day, not 3 or 4 cans a day. So that really just stands true in every aspect of life. Tom Brody goes, "Hey Eric, I always miss your live streams. Good stuff." Yeah, Eric, I was gonna say, if you can in the near future, because I like to come to your live streams too. Try to give us a little bit more notice. I know it's hard. Believe me, I know it's hard. There are times that I have forgotten to post the next day's live stream up the day before, but it really helps in the long run. Don't worry, Eric. I can control myself. I'm telling you, soda can be a huge addiction for people, and it wasn't that bad for me because I never really liked soda that much. I was a social soda drinker, so I drink soda at parties and things like that. The worst thing for me is coffee. I am still a coffee addict, though I'm trying something new. If you watch the the vlog I did earlier today, I picked up a Keurig K200 today at the thrift store, and that's going to be the Keurig I'm going to use downstairs. I'm going to put the other Keurig I have, the bigger one, and I don't remember the model number. It's like a K5 or 600, but they're both Keurig 2.0, so I'm putting that in storage. And the reason I'm doing that is the older Keurig 2.0 I had a 12-ounce setting, whereas this new K200 only goes up to 10 ounces. So that's actually going to help me drink a little less coffee each day. Oh, sorry, my throat is very dry right now. Classic Mobile Mass, did you see the new video I did? No, I haven't yet. I've seen some of your videos, but honestly, I've just been very, very busy. And I have a few jobs tomorrow, so I don't know how many videos I'll get to watch. I try to watch as many of your videos that you guys put out as I can, but unfortunately, I'm only one person, and time is a fickle beast, and we just don't have enough of it in this day and age. Eric goes, I just felt bad for that woman. She had 6 24 packs of Pepsi in the basket of that scooter. Yeah, that just shows you right there that people are just addicted to sugary drinks and junk food. And do I eliminate all junk food from my body? No. From my life? No. If I want a whoopie pie, I've had 2 whoopie pies this week, believe it or not. I may actually have a third one tomorrow. But again, in moderation, it's fine. And I walk it off. I did, just to show you guys, I did 23,104 steps today. That's 11.66 miles, an average speed of 3.4 miles per hour, and that's 1,455.9 calories burnt. That's actually a conservative estimate. It's probably more like 16 or 1,700 calories. So, show you that right there. Show you I'm not lying. If you walk that much, then you can add some more of that junk food into your life. Just remember, there are other consequences that arise from eating the junkier food. So again, moderation, moderation, moderation. Just like when it comes to real estate, location, location, location. I'm saying it three times because it really is just that important. Ruben goes, it's 54 here. Jealous. Oh my gosh. I wish it was that warm here. Though the next couple of days it's going to get up to about 60 here. Stephen Barber goes, I love soda, and yes, I drink regular. I need the sugar. That's all right. You know what? Like I said, I'm going to leave it there. Moderation, moderation, moderation. Moving on. Eric Brunhammer goes, getting rid of the Wawa tea has been easy, but if I want something different, I will buy a bottle of soda or juice. Juice is a good option if you drink it in, what's the word for today? Moderation. But then I make sure I drink more water after that. Yeah, water at night. I drink the majority of my water at night, and that helps move things along. So the next morning I feel refreshed and I can have the bowel movement. Not trying to be disgusting. I mean, it's just true. That's what I need to do. Ruben says 60. I'm sorry, not Ruben. Paul Kane says 60 here right now, but the sun is down. Hey, I'll take that over 30 and sun being up. That's what it was today. Don Brody asks, hey, Matt, do you focus more on fat or carbs? Neither, really. Now that I've gotten down pretty much to my goal weight, they're all in my body. I just focus on portions and calories. To me, I can easily count the calories in the food that I'm eating and know that I'm doing okay. Fat, it really doesn't matter, especially during the wintertime, because you burn off a lot of fat really quick. Carbs, if you're just starting your lifestyle change, your diet, whatever you want to call it, carbs are important. I actually tell a lot of people that are trying to lose weight and just starting, do a modified Atkins diet for a month. In other words, cut out a lot of carbs and just eat a lot of protein and jumpstart your metabolism. And then after that month or so, then you can start adding the carbs back in some. And then as you start losing more and more weight, you can start adding a little bit more carbs back into your diet. And that seems to work well for most people. Water and coffee, Paul. That's it. That's pretty much all I drink. Ruben's going. I'll see you at the next one. I'm almost sure of it. I386 goes, somebody came to my store a few days ago, wanted to return a toothbrush. We told her we could not return it. We could not, let me see if I can read that right. We told her we could not return it, not been sold in 30 days. She said, well, we must have got a 5-finger discount. Oh, that's funny. At least it wasn't a used toothbrush. I've actually seen where people try to return a used toothbrush. Never going to happen. All right, tubers, I'm ending the live stream here. I am getting tired. It's getting late for me. We made this about 43 minutes. I'll answer a couple more questions. We'll get to about 45 minutes. Basically, I didn't bring my water either, so my mouth is getting pretty dry at this point. Robert Jones asks, Matt, what can you tell me about stomach shrinkage? I think mine has. If you're doing a lifestyle change like I am, you're walking a lot, cutting down on the food, your stomach is going to shrink. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not, if you were really heavy like I was, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to need skin removal surgery. I still might, but if you're really lucky and you have a lot of elasticity in your stomach region, then you might get away with not doing it. Your body will absorb some of that excess skin over time. But again, if you were really heavy like I was in the 350 to 400 pound range, then chances are you're going to need at least some type of skin removal surgery. Don Brody says, great to see you, Matt. Next time, bye-bye. And with that, I'm ending the live stream. This is the end of the week-long January live stream event. Probably not going to do another one for a couple of weeks, maybe a month. I'm going to focus more on the vlogs. I do have a few really exciting videos coming out, including a local restaurant review that I've already gotten permission to do. So with that, please continue to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.